Rutherford, and welcome to Mardyke Minibeasts Volume 2. Unearthing archive unseen footage is always an exciting time, especially when it involves friends, family or long lost places. So we've managed to dig deep, and for your excitement and enjoyment we've unearthed some Mardyke memories. So please enjoy. We're privileged enough to be here at the home of Mardyke Railways with the builder Des de Smet. Now Des is going to tell us the beginnings of Mardyke Railways and where it all began.
Well, it began in 1936. The first one I made was a push and pull carriage that went up and down the garden, track all the way around the house. Through the Bolton Fen runs a drainage channel called Mardyke. They thought it would be a good idea to call it Mardyke Valley Railway. And that's how Mardyke Valley Railway came about. We built it up quite to quite an extent, and as a sideline we used to make 7 1/4 gauge railway equipment. It seemed the logical follow-up to call it Mardyke Miniature Railways Limited, and that's how Mardyke Miniature Railways came into being.
And what was your first type of locomotive you produced?
DMU. 2 DMUs. I saw an advert from one of the stores in London. They were getting rid of some 2-stroke engines, 50cc engines. So I built a gearbox for it, just a simple gearbox, forward, reverse and neutral, manual operate. I always aimed, or my idea of a miniature train should be that it looks like a train, it sounds like a train, it feels like a train. And based on that, I kept some well-known standard trains, but also some were difficult to produce and provide a challenge. For instance, the GG1 is got 10 axles, and it was a real problem to get 10 axles articulated to go through a 30-foot radius and all within an 18-inch wide rectangle. So anyway, I managed to sort it out.
So Des, 35 years down the line and many of your engines are still going strong in service. What's your secret?
Well, proper engineering, but the operation of the trains, it obviously had to be easy because it was meant for children. So that's why they all operate, quite easily. Then from some battery operated ones, which was not completely satisfactory, the 2 horsepower petrol ones weren't strong enough. So I went over to a battery start 5 horsepower Briggs & Stratton engine. But in the meantime I've been looking for a diesel engine, perhaps 10 horsepower, but small enough to go into the 17-inch wide body. Anyway, after a fairly long time, I managed to come across the Kubota engines, and they've been very, very successful.
And they become one of the most successful designs in 7 1/4
Yeah,
gauge.
yeah.
Well, Des, we must thank you for bringing us these locomotives. Long may they run, and long may you run.
Thank you. Right now, we progressed very nicely with Malden Miniature Railways in training, and at one stage we were approached by the Recreation Department of Tarek Borough Council, and consequently the arrangement was that we provide the equipment, and Tarek Council would sort out all the planning permission and regulation and everything else. So that worked very well, because at one time we in fact we had 3 trains running there. The HST, the Santa Fe, and another one. was over, we had agreed to run it for a year. When the year was all about to come to an end, we had a letter from Tara Council stipulating the various conditions that under which we would have to run the railway. One condition was that we'd have to have a £2 million public liability insurance. Another one was that we had to provide dustbins and emptying services. Various other ones. And really, I still had to run another business, and we just decided to terminate the Coalhouse fourth venture. When it had all gone, people wanted to know where the railway had gone.
In autumn 2003 I took the opportunity to go and look at the remains of the Coalhouse Fort Railway. You can see the potential this line had when Mardyke Railways ran it, but it's always a shame to look at lines that are no longer there. Although covered in tarmac, the former route can clearly be distinguished as it heads through the bushes. Open days up and down the country always attract a wide variety of locomotives. At this particular event, at New Malden's track, there were two Mardyke locos present, the first being this early petrol Deltic locomotive. The second being the steam outline Royal Scots. And now we're off to Paradise. Well, Paradise Park Miniature Railway, which is located in Newhaven on the south coast. The line was built by Mardyke and employs this Class 35 high-mech D7068, named Four Seasons. The coaches in these sequences are also a Mardyke product, being based on Pullman coaches. The line is a simple circuit of about 200 yards. Now let's take a ride on this short loop round the Paradise Park. Personally, I'm going to give this one a miss because I feel a little bit dizzy. What a pleasant sight these Pullman carriages look when they're in a full rake, reminding us of the Orient Express. These were all caught by Des on early 8mm video, just as the line was completed. Another round and round miniature railway built by Mardykes is at the Strand in Gillingham, which employs a Santa Fe locomotive. This locomotive was a 1987 build, along with the Bud-style American carriages. Along with the Hymex seen in a previous sequence, this USA-style locomotive is still running today in the same location, just proving how reliable these Mardyke Minibeasts are. Many locomotives and railways were exported abroad from Mardykes. This scene here is in the Loire Valley in France, where a TGV was exported in the mid-1980s. Unfortunately, we don't have more information on this line, but it certainly proves that some of the locomotives go back to their home countries where they belong. Of course, it'd be nice to learn if this railway is still in existence. On this occasion, more equipment is being delivered to the National Railway Museum in the Netherlands, at Utrecht. This unit is joining two others previously delivered by Mardyke Railways to run on this little known railway in the Netherlands. This petrol version of the TGV never made it abroad, but it went to Henley-on-Thames in Oxfordshire.
Fast!
Not too fast.
This is the only known footage of this private railway, unless you know different. On a few occasions, Mardyke locomotives were used on television adverts. This first scene is for an advert advertising the Intercity 125s against road travel. The power car and the coaches were super detailed to give the impression of a real train. This little 125 power car clearly doesn't like road signs. The same power car, seeking more fame, is used again at White City Stadium to make another BR advert.
Yes, just in the van.
Crispin,
Yeah?
just take your hand out of the way.
Oh, sorry.
It's a bit gloomy. If you go back a bit.
By the way, this isn't a Mardyke locomotive, but a track laid down to follow the 125 along a specially raised track. This scene shows how convincing the Mardyke models were. In Volume 1, we visited this location on a couple of occasions. We're back again for a third visit to look at the early years of the Swanley Newhaven Railway. Hello, my name's Matthew Rutherford, and I am a member of the Swanley Newhaven Railway and have been for the past 10 years. I'd like to introduce you to D7612 Class 25, and I will show you some other members of our fleet. First, I'd like to give you a brief resume of how the machines work. All the diesels and the petrol locomotives on the SMBR are basically the same with the transmission. The Class 47 has a diesel engine, which is a Kubota 2-cylinder, which produces about 10 horsepower. Basically, the transmission is a hydraulic pump which is located here. The engine drives a pump, which then high pressure fluid then goes to two hydraulic motors, one on each axle. The controls are very simple. You have one for your hydraulics, forward, reverse, one for the engine, which is throttle, slow and fast. Also you have your stop and start, your horn, This Class 25 isn't a Mardyke loco, but loosely based on their design. This is an early view of the Class 25 in 1986, wearing its corporate blue livery. The windows were later modified to give them a larger appearance. This is Tullyar in 1987. Given a heavy load of passengers going back down to the bottom car park.
Oh, he's off. Oh,
These scenes show the railway's Class 47 in action, which wasn't in action for Volume 1. This is a Hymec D7069 when delivered from the Mardyke Works to Swanley. Just notes how clean the locomotive is. The Mardyke Railway's mobile exhibition stand was often seen at major events for railways. This one here is in London with a short demonstration track giving visitors rides. This is a Brookside railway in Poynton near Stockport, where petrol Hymec D7031 is seen operating post-delivery from Mardyke's. It's nice to see a high mech operating in the Manchester area, because the real locomotives were built at Bay of Peacocks in Gorton. This locomotive was seen in Volume 1 operating on the Grosvenor Park Miniature Railway in Chester, where it was later transferred to.